Hey, this is Wes with the Seahawks Times. Who's going to win that starting job this offseason, Drew Lock or Geno Smith? We're going to get into the film study, the nitty gritty, and figure this out and my reasons why and who I think is going to win that job this offseason. It's a pivotal year for Seattle, and we got a lot of rumors that the team might be selling over the next couple seasons. Regardless of what happens, we need to isolate what is going to happen in that quarterback position moving forward. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe. Let's go.
Geno. Let's face it, when Geno Smith took over for Russell Wilson last season after Russ broke his finger in this game, nobody could have predicted how well he would have played. There he hits DK on a really nice route. He got Uncle Will, who he signed. I love Uncle Will, over the middle there in the seam, sneaky. The Rams were caught off guard. This is a Super Bowl championship Rams defense, and I don't care what point in time in the game is. They never want to lose to Seattle, so they're bringing heat. But Geno, great tutelage. He never quit on himself, playing behind Russell Wilson for all those years, just waiting for his time. And Geno is a really resilient athlete and person. Love that play to DK. I remember jumping up and down when he hit them for that. He kind of made the Rams look crazy. That was a 98-yard drive in a crucial situation. But then there's the ugly. Geno, he makes an errant throw here. All he had to do was really just calm down and extend the game a bit. But this is what you get, in those situations when you have somebody that hasn't played for a long time. Overall, I thought Geno played exceptionally last year, considering the circumstances. I know the Jags are trash, but I paid attention to this game, and I feel like he would have made a lot of these throws on good defenses as well. DK Metcalf and Geno had a special connection. I do really like that about this. He was really good with Tyler. Once him and Tyler started figuring out some of the kind of like intermediate crossing stuff, he was dangerous. But yeah, he was killing it with DK for sure. Goddamn, pay DK, please. But yeah, overall, his pocket awareness, he was not jumpy. He was really good with the timing of the offense, and I think he kind of showed what Waldron's offense could be if properly executed in a lot of ways. No, he wasn't, putting up gaudy, dynamic Josh Allen numbers, but this is Geno Smith, who was written off of the league overall, and when his name was called, he played great football. I'm going to say what he is. He had some really, some unfortunate turnovers, but these were against good teams. You know what I mean? Like Pittsburgh.
We got to go back to this moment where, in a crucial moment, he was stripped by TJ Watt. Obviously a great player, but this seems to be the story of Geno sometimes. Just decision-making at crucial points of the game, tucks the ball, tries to run. TJ Watt pops it out. But I love in OTAs what he said. It's all about accountability with him.
And in those starts, I was 1-2. We lost 2 tough games to some playoff teams, really good teams. And, I really think that if I had executed, a few things better, that we could have won those games. And I know every single guy feels the same way. So,
Geno has proven to be a great leader, actually, and he's extremely accountable. In this OTA's interview, he reflects on those tough losses last year, and he took all the responsibility and felt that as a team they could have played better and won those games. It's pretty impressive. Here he is, your boy, Mr. Put On for his city, Drew Lock. Yeah.
I think we can all agree that talent has never been the question with Drew Lock. His arm strength, his ability to make really special passes, it's there. You can see it on film, and he's actually proved it in the NFL level. Coming out as a rookie, he started off really good in that offense, and then, you started shifting to a lot of different coordinators, and let's just face it, Fangio's offense was terrible. I'm not an apologist of Drew Lock with all the picks he threw. A few of those, maybe more than 5 of them were actually just errant throws and him forcing it, but if he can calm down, slow the game down, and make good decisions, he's stepping into an offense that I think is superior to anything, and coaching staff far superior to what they had in Denver. You got DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Noah Fant, his old crony. You've got D. Eskridge looking to break out, and just a whole supporting cast of players behind them, an excellent tight end room behind Fant, and the running game. We're going to have a special running game in Seattle. Rashad Penny, Ken Walker III. And I don't think that Carson with J.C. Jackson, man, that guy's so good. Anyways, everyone gets picked off by J.C. Jackson. We'll let that one slide. Anyways, Drew Lock, as you can see in some of these picks, a lot of them are just like bad decisions. If he can make the decisions, slow the game down for himself, and just, feed into the offense and the rhythm of the game, I think he'd be really good. He can make a big jump in his career, kind of like from some guys that did struggle early in their careers, your Steve Youngs, Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers. Those types of players had similar starts starts to Drew Lock, and I think came into not even as special situations as he's jumping into in Seattle. Now, it's not a gimme that he beats out Geno Smith in camp. He's got to make the plays. He's got to show that he has command in the offense. But what he does have already is you can tell he has respect of his peers. He has respect in the locker room and respect amongst the organization. He's a humble young kid. He seems to have a really good head on his shoulders, and I really like that because when you pair that with his talent and his willingness and wanting to win, he could really be special in the league. I do believe that, and I don't say that about a lot of players. Quarterbacks typically that get second chances don't come up and step up well, but I think he can be as good as your Derek Carrs at least. I really just feel that, especially with the weapons that he has. And Waldron is still blossoming as an OC. He's young. He's a brilliant young mind, and I think he's going to get the best out of Drew. Anyways, that was a little pick reel, so you could just see the bad. Before that, you saw some really nice throws. But here, I really like this throw here. You see a nice little seam route, breaking route, boom. He puts it on the money. Now, if you replace Tim Patrick with DK Metcalf, Colby Parkinson, Noah Fant, those guys are all going to make those plays consistently, at least as easy as Tim Patrick, bless him. Jerry Jeudy on a nice little route there. I don't think he's stepping into any less of a situation. And if he gets the start there, he could have a really good season. And he can use his legs. This is a really nice play by Drew, just seeing that the space is there. You can run RPO with Locke. He's still super young, and he's got the talent. That's just really what I can't emphasize enough. Some of these throws are just awesome. Like that was a beautiful throw there. You see Jeudy going to the deep out, and Drew can put it on the money. He doesn't need to necessarily set his feet perfectly to have zip on the ball. Another great throw there to I think that's Patrick. Maybe Sutton there. He can really put the ball in places for guys to catch it, back shoulder. He can make all the throws. And, I love what Pete Carroll said. Pete said if Drew was in this draft, he'd be the number one quarterback taken. They didn't feel the need to take a QB in this draft, and that's the reason. They didn't think anybody in this draft was as good as Drew Lock is now. And that makes sense to me in retrospect. We still got to see those guys play, but I think it was a good move. And when they traded Russell Wilson away, I think Drew Lock was a mandatory return piece for them as they had scouted him heavy. They wanted Drew on the team. They probably already wanted Drew playing and learning behind Russell Wilson in Seattle as it was. So this is maybe a little bit more to this, him being in Seattle, than just he's part of a trade scenario. Seems like a good plan to me that may pan out. Writing's going to be on the wall. We got to see how that pans out. But all sorts of throws here on tape. You can see this. If that's DK over there, he's going to make that catch. And, you're probably going to be able to do more to the middle of the field. Play action again here, really can slide out of the pocket, make good throws on the run, find guys in zones. All this stuff's going to work well in the Waldron offense. But let's see if he gets to start. I can't emphasize how rare this talent is in the NFL for players to be able to make throws on the run when plays break down with accuracy. And in Seattle, they've got a lot of speed and a lot of good hands. They're going to be able to run with him, especially in the bootleg game, in the crossing game. That's Waldron's specialty. Drew in this RPO, it's going to be really cool if we can establish the run. I think he's going to have a lot of rushing yards, too. He's going to really surprise. My guy has so much swag, too. You just really want to see him succeed. But anyways, you can see he's super calm at times. He can really just throw strikes. And, I think he could be a really good quarterback. I don't see the need to bring in the Mayfield or a Garoppolo. I don't think either of those guys are as good as Drew Lock. I'm just going to say it point blank. Respect to what they've done so far, but they're just not as good. And confidence, man. He came out of this camp with lots of confidence. You can kind of see in his eyes like he's learned something about himself, and he's really ready to go. Let's hear what he has to say here.
The quarterback that I am, and that's being able to run around, make plays, hang out in the pocket, maneuver in the pocket. But ultimately, from what I've seen in my time in the NFL, one, showing that you can take care of the football, and two, showing that you can just make accurate throws. We got to get these guys the ball. We have too many crazy athletes out on this field for me not to put it where they can catch it and not let the other team get it. So.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the film study. Who do I think is going to get the start for the Seattle Seahawks in this upcoming season 22-23? Well, I do believe it's going to be Drew Lock. And why do I think it's going to be Drew Lock outside of that film study is that he not only has the most upside, but he has potential to still be a very special player. Not just based on his age, but he did make some special plays, even in that what I thought was a terrible Vic Fangio offense. And you know what? The receivers in Denver, they weren't really good. Cortland Sutton, to me, has always been overrated. I do like Jerry Jeudy, but to me, Jerry Jeudy has a lower upside than even Dwayne Eskridge. Drew Lock has never had the players outside of Noah Fant, like Metcalf and Lockett. I think it's going to all come together with the running game they have, and you may see Drew Lock put up some surprising numbers. I'm not necessarily thinking that he's going to be the best quarterback in the NFL by any stretch, but I do believe that this is a perfect situation and a perfect offense for him. Shout out to Geno Smith, man. What an amazing guy, amazing player. I love his heart. I love his character. I want him to stay with the organization, and hopefully he can still be with us. But I wish him the best in whatever he does. This is not a knock on Geno. I've been chanting Geno, if it happens to be him. But Drew, I know this is a very special time and opportunity for him, and I think with the repertoire and the roster he has, the situation he's been thrust into, he can actually get the Seahawks into the playoffs. That's just me. 100.